It is Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. And I don't know how most people celebrated their 40th birthday. I imagine a few of you ended up with nachos on top of your head while doing a baseball broadcast. What happened here?
You know, I'm just trying to work, Chris. I'm trying to call this beautiful baseball game. Then Audra Martin, who loves to do the food stuff, surprised us up there with it's a cowboy hat. It's a nacho cowboy hat.
It's a nacho cowboy. So there's actually a hole in the bottom to rest it on your head. I thought you were just super talented.
Yeah. And so we ended up, having a few dips. And while that was going on, of course, Byron Buxton hits a homer.
Of course.
One of those things. But luckily he hits them all the time, Chris, because he's a stud.
Ah,
and reigning AL Player of the Week.
I know he's been great. He's been great. So I didn't get to see the whole clip. Were you able to reverse dip over your head and then down it?
I was a little scared to take my hands off. I did for a little bit right there, but I think if I was more comfortable, you could do it. You could just have it on your head. Yeah.
Did your kids see the clip?
I don't think so. They were at the game, down there at the field enjoying themselves. They had some ice cream. It was a nice night for them.
I thought maybe mommy would have said, "Oh, look at your daddy, what he's doing on his birthday." No?
Just acting the fool.
That's good. I like that. See, as you get older, you get a little cheesier, no pun intended, but that'll happen. So I just can't wait for the times when Teddy and Isla are going to go, "Oh my God, Dad, stop." Because that is coming.
Yeah.
That is coming. And that's when you step on the accelerator more and embarrass them more. My God, I just do the craziest stuff. And it makes it fun. That was cute. But it was not good enough to be our tip of the cap. This, however, was.
2 strikes. And a high fly ball to deep right field. Casey's going back. It is gone! Home run just inside the pole. His first career hit is a home run in his first game here at Citizens Bank Park. What a moment and what a smile.
Yeah, what a moment for Gabriel Rincones, who was out there trying to replace the injured Adolis Garcia. He gets the standing O and the tip of the cap as he heads back to his position in right field. Don't worry, they'll be throwing shit, including insults at you if you don't produce, but that's why we love Philadelphia as a sports town. What a great moment for that guy and his family, huh?
No, it's amazing, especially your first game in front of the home crowd and they've seen Adolis Garcia struggle out there in right field this year, and obviously now he's not going to be there anymore. So it's cool. We had a guy, Kyler Fedko, make his debut last night, and you just see what it means to not only the player but the family that's involved, and it's such a special moment. And the first homer for your first tip, it's pretty cool.
And for that guy in particular, he spent some time, I believe, growing up in Venezuela, then moved to Scotland, of all places, where it's not like that's a baseball hotbed, before getting his way back to the States. So it took him a little bit of time, but it's great to see him, and hopefully he'll be a contributor for the Phillies as they are trying to get back in this playoff race. In the meantime, let's get to it. We had a COVID World Series reunion out in Los Angeles as the Rays and Dodgers played a good one, and how about a World Series hero delivering in a pinch?
Stud in Atlanta.
This one drilled left field. Rojas, the pinch hitter. It's back and gone. Shades of the World Series, Miguel Rojas.
That the game-winning run, Boog Shambi with the call on ESPN. So Miggy Rowe getting it done. Look, people that have obviously followed our podcasts here at John Boy Media know what we think of Miguel Rojas and how important he's been. It was a year ago at this time where Dodger fans were calling for it. They were like, why is he still on the team? What is going on? And I think that now a year later, they understand his importance on so many levels. And then when he does something like that, it even adds more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a lifetime contract with the Dodgers by now. I truly do. As long as Shohei says it's okay, he can just continue to play. But really, I mean, think about there's not too many guys, Chris, who I'm like, I'd switch lives with you. Over the last calendar year, I might switch lives with Miggy Rojas.
Yeah, it's pretty
the things
good.
he got to do in the World Series. People forget about the defensive play to keep the game going, and obviously the homer. And now anything World Series related, you just mentioned, it's a World Series matchup, and he's the clutch guy. So very happy for him. Good guy, deserves it all.
Yep. The guy who really kept the Dodgers in the game was one of their new acquisitions this past offseason. That was Kyle Tucker. He hit a home run early in the game to tie it at 3. Good swing. We haven't seen that a whole lot this year. He was celebrating. He did the whole little Dodger thing around the bases. And then the throw to nail Jonathan Randa at home plate to prevent a run from scoring. Here's his skipper.
I've talked to him a little bit, not a whole lot. He's not a very talkative person, but I will say that the last few weeks, he's really opened up with his teammates, with the coaches, and I think he's freeing himself up, being more comfortable. But he cares. He's working hard, trying his tail off.
Sorry about the echoey audio. Game was not on Spectrum Sportsnet LA last night. It was on ESPN, so they didn't have any great sound. But that's Dave Roberts. Hopefully you got the gist of it. Was last night the moment where Kyle Tucker officially became a Dodger?
No. I don't really understand the question. No. When he signed pen to paper, he became officially a Dodger. But I think I guess I sort of get where you're going here.
Wait, well, hold on. What don't you understand? Like, is that the turning point for him? Is that because till now, I mean, nobody can pinpoint what sort of contribution he's made.
So that's kind of like the point, though, with the Dodgers. He doesn't have to make massive contributions all the time. Like you get a game like tonight, and then down the stretch, and then obviously in the playoffs, I think everything kind of ramps up as far as real expectations. I know it's crazy because of how much money he's making, but that's just kind of the way it is right now on that roster, on that team. He's gotten off to a semi-slow start. This isn't like it's not disastrous. Like there's not an OPS in the 5s. It wouldn't surprise me at all by the end of the year if we're looking up at a 845 OPS for Kyle Tucker, kind of doing what he typically does. Is he going to get to a 5-WAR season this year? I'm not sure, but I think he's going to contribute enough over 162. We're like, all right, that's a solid season for him. And yes, you might have bigger expectations because of the dollar amount, but again, he just doesn't need to be that. That was a beautiful swing. A little change up there from Nick Martinez, went down and got it. He can carry an offense. I think that's what the Dodgers want, is at certain times when, say, maybe Shohei's slumping or Freddie's slumping and someone needs to pick them up offensively. If he does that a couple times throughout the year, I think that's money well spent for them.
Look, man, they started him as the number 2 hitter in the lineup this season. They were like, well, that's not working. And now he's slid down pretty much to the point where he's been 5th, 6th. And I think it's kind of like the way he likes to go through a season, somewhat hidden. I mean, I don't think he's enjoying hitting 5th or 6th because I think he expects more out of himself, just like we do. But I think he likes to be in the background. And I think the fact that it's a weird juxtaposition with him. He signs this enormous free agent deal in the offseason, an AAV of $60 million a year. And he is the guy who doesn't even want to be mentioned at the introductory news conference. He is not comfortable in front of the camera. That is not his deal. I think he's very quiet. Remember a year ago when he was with the Cubs, we hear the rumblings like, hey, he's not this and he's not that, and he's very much to himself. And I think that's exactly who he is, and that's okay. Like, that's not always part of the price tag that you're paying. Would you love it if a guy was a leader? Would you love it if a guy was vocal and, was energetic and could stand in front of the camera and answer questions eloquently all the time? Sure, you'd love it. That's not why the Dodgers paid Kyle Tucker $60 million a year. So really, as far as it's strictly on the field, and what does he give you? And here he's been an average player. Average, and that would destroy most teams. If they paid a guy $60 million AAV and they got an average baseball player, there would be a lot of franchises that would be screwed. And as you made the point, not the Dodgers. They could have their $30 million shortstop with a 645 OPS. They could have their $60 million a year right fielder having OPS of 720 or whatever it is. They can live with that. Now, if he doesn't deliver a clutch moment in the postseason, that'll be different.
I think that's where the money is made for them. Can you show up in the postseason? Can you get us another ring, a three-peat ring? That's where the entire focus is on. They really haven't. I mean, if you think about the free agents they've brought in, if you go back to Tanner Scott, Edwin Diaz, none of them have come over and been themselves or what you'd expect them to get. And maybe that is just part of the culture that they kind of like let their guard down a little bit and say, hey, I don't have to be the guy here. And maybe they need that. Maybe everyone needs to start thinking, I do need to be the guy here.
That's interesting. You're right. I mean, even Blake Snell, although Blake Snell did have his postseason moments and pitched very well when he came back from injury a season ago, but this year he's made one start. Tyler Glass now, not a free agent, but a big trade, and then they extended him for $130 million. He's nowhere close to being back. So you're right. I mean, you basically have to go, maybe I'm wrong here, but just off the top of my head, you probably have to go back to Freddie Freeman in terms of free agents who have produced from the word go and have fulfilled everything about their contract. It's kind of interesting. Oh, Yamamoto.
Yeah, so Yamamoto and Ohtani.
Okay, he's a different category. Always a different
Do you think
category.
Everyone's just like, whatever, Ohtani's got it, guys, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, right. So Yamamoto and Freddie Freeman, because I put Ohtani in a different category. But everybody else, you could say, well, he's missed significant time during the regular season, gave us a huge moment in the playoffs.
Teo came over, first year was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at times, right, during this run, he's kind of been this. That's okay. They can afford it. Very quickly, as far as this matchup we've seen between the Rays and the Dodgers, one team is rich and brilliant. The other team is just brilliant. Will there ever be a time where we have a conversation about these two squads facing each other where money is not involved?
Probably not. I mean, the way the system is set up right now, just is what it is. I think for a long time we were considering the Dodgers the Rays with money, right? They got a lot of their front office came from the Rays. They tried to operate like that a little bit, but now obviously because of their ownership group, they're able to play more in free agency and take on contracts. So no, I don't, Chris. You know, even if Tampa Bay, let's just say, was to beat them in the World Series, like we would hear about, you know, the little guy, we'd still hear about the money then. So to your question, no, we'll always talk about the payroll disparity.
Yeah. I mean, the Dodgers are always top three, if not number one in payroll. The Rays are consistently in the bottom five. This year, they were slated to have one guy make more than $10 million. That was Wander Franco. We know what has happened with that since then. The Dodgers are scheduled to have 14 guys this year make over $10 million alone.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Yeah, it was interesting. So I spent a lot of time with the Rays yesterday. Shane McClanahan's going to be my guest next week on Dugout Discussions, who was phenomenal. I mean, we did a real deep dive into his 2.5-year comeback and how dark it got and how appreciative he is of returning, all sorts of stuff. I mean, he was great. Really, really fun, smart interview. And I did ask him about if it pisses him off that people don't talk much about the Rays. And he's like, no, we get it. Like, we understand, but all that matters is that we got ourselves and we believe. And so they feel like if they were to play the Dodgers in a 7-game series, they'd be good enough to win 4.
You don't ever think about what the media is thinking about you or talking about you when you're playing. You're just like, we know we're a good team. Let's go try to win baseball games. You're so inundated with just the day in and day out of trying to be a good Major League Baseball player that you don't think about the media. Like, I mean, very, very rarely.
I do think they're cognizant of it, but I don't think they focus on it.
I don't think they care. Like, you really don't. And sometimes I think you probably think it's a blessing that you're not getting talked about. Because it's just less to do.
A lot to focus on when we say Dodgers versus Rays. Is the first thing you think of the payroll disparity, or is it something else? Let us know in the comments. Kyle Tucker, how would you describe his season? Does it even matter, or is it strictly what happens from October 1st on with him? So a lot to cover there, if you don't mind. This episode of Baseball Today, it is sponsored by SeatGeek. Covering baseball every day means that the month of June is nonstop. You've got baseball in full swing, and the World Cup, it just kicked off last week, and it has been a blast. And if you want to actually be there for any of it, you need our friends over at SeatGeek. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Over 70,000 events across sports, concerts, festivals, so much more. MLB's official ticket marketplace. Every baseball ticket fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled. And here's the great thing about SeatGeek. They are always looking out for you and your wallet. They color code each seat out there. So you're looking for the green dot. That means thumbs up. Good deal. Red dot, means bypass it and keep looking. Now, you might see on there, well, there's a red dot for those seats right behind the dugout. How in the world could those be bad seats? They're not bad seats. You'll get a great view of the game. You know what you won't get? The best deal possible. And SeatGeek is always looking out for you. And in fact, we're looking out for you guys. We've got a code, Baseball 2026, 10% off your next set of MLB tickets at SeatGeek. That is 10% off any MLB tickets. Promo code Baseball 2026. Just click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account. You can use it later. Thank you so much to our friends over at SeatGeek. All right. Kind of an abbreviated schedule on Monday, so let's get you all caught up with a few things that happened.
He got him! The calendar says it's June 15th, but tonight it's May 3. He to right. He did it! 13th cycle in franchise history. It's courtesy of Pete Crow Armstrong.
Late time, and the pitch comes but does not count.
Struck him out.
Swings at the pitch, lifted in the air, out to left field. This one's going back. Valdez at the wall, and it's gone! Hang him up for Nick Kurtz, a 3-run homer, and the A's have blown this open 11-1.
High fly ball, left field. Did he do it again? Yes, he did!
Yes, he did. Jason Benetti, Colt Keith, a 3-homer game at age 24. The only Tiger younger to have a 3-homer game, the legendary Mr. Tiger himself, Al Kaline. When he was 20 years old, he had a 3-homer game, which ain't too bad. So what was your indelible moment of the night? We have a bunch of choices there.
Yeah, a ton of good baseball on Monday. You didn't mention any of my twins. Okay, Chris, that's fine.
I did. I mentioned the guy who put the taco thing on his head.
Oh, okay. Me? I'm going to go Dustin May. I just think it's an incredible story. And I think we all have been rooting for Dustin as he's, dealt with, some injuries and some scary stuff throughout his career. To go to the Cardinals and kind of be the guy that he's been so far, I think is just truly like an incredible story. And to go do that against the Padres, I know the offense isn't banging for them right now, but it's still a good lineup. And the way he was throwing the ball last night, I think everyone's seen that out of him. And I saw a guy last night who's in similar vein, where it's like you see Mackenzie Gore and you're like, that's ace stuff. You see Dustin May, he has ace stuff. You got to put it all together. And lately he's been doing that, Chris. He had a couple bad starts to start off his season, but after that he's been pretty damn good for them. He's changed the repertoire this year and throwing the four-seam fastball a lot more. The sweeper's gone down. He added the cutter, or the cutter usage is up. And really, I think it's just he was able to be healthy for the first time, have a full off season. And you have to give the Cardinals credit for going out and signing him. He's making $12 million this year, and didn't have a ton of success kind of heading into the year, but they just saw the raw stuff. If he's healthy, he can do it. And now it's like, okay, what happens? They have a mutual option at the end of this year. And if you're the Cardinals and you're kind of, I don't want to call it ahead of schedule, but what do you do to make sure that gets picked up? That's what I think. Like, okay, if he continues throughout this season and finishes off strong, he's probably going to want a different type of contract. I think it'd be really smart if the Cardinals went and started talking to him about some sort of extension now.
He turns 29 on my anniversary.
Yeah, so I mean, he's still got innings in him. There's no doubt about it. If I'm them, you could lock up what you could see as a 3-starter with higher potential than that. And I think a guy that's had an injury history would definitely consider that. And if he likes where he's at, I think he'd sign it.
He was born on the day I got married. I just realized that. Born literally on the day I got married.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. So that means that any extension he gets, he has to send us some sort of wedding gift, I believe.
So.
Isn't that the contract stipulation?
Yeah.
Just
some money. You guys like cash is fine.
Cash is fine. I'll take Venmo. That's totally cool if he wants to do that. Yes, he is an incredible story. He took a perfect game into the 7th, lost that on a walk, and then gave up a base hit that inning, but ends up throwing the first complete game shutout of his career. In fact, he had not registered an out as a starting pitcher in the 8th inning, let alone as the 9th. Now, he's been a reliever, so he's gotten outs in those innings before, but never as a starting pitcher. So I think that's great. And you're right. I mean, we're talking about a guy, not just injury, the guy almost died. The guy literally, I mean, he has told this story about how he almost passed away from just a freak restaurant incident. So it is great to see him doing his thing. And I agree with you that I think the Cardinals would be smart to rip up his current deal and extend him, because why wouldn't you want to give it to a guy who's still in his 20s?
Agreed. And last night, I'll say this, Dan, get the knock up again.
The base hit?
Machado, yeah. Do you have that?
He'll get it for you.
Throughout the game, there was some really nice defensive plays behind him. Lars Nootbaar made an incredible catch on a sinking line drive. Mason Wynn made some plays. I'm questioning the first hit, though, a little bit.
Oh, no.
I started to go down this road in my baseball journey. Maybe because I'm old, I question the Chicago White Sox grounds crew. People are hating on me for that. I don't know.
They weren't hating. You made a really good point. We had one guy who said, wait. All right, here it is. Here's the Machado. What are you saying?
I would like to see a dive.
Play?
I would like to see a dive from the third base and pulled up right there a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you got to go all out when it's a no-hitter.
Yeah,
you have to. Particularly with Machado running, right? If you are able to find that ball in your mitt, you're going to throw him out.
I think he was trying to say, okay, if I go dive for this ball, Tatis is getting to get to third base no matter what. So maybe he was trying to hold up there, but I need a dive.
That's probably a good call. I don't want to misrepresent who that was. Oh, that was Blaze Jordan over at third.
Come on, Blaze. We just talked about you.
Yeah. Gave him some love. All right. Now, for me, and I could have gone a lot of different directions, I did love the whole Soto Chase Burns thing. By the way, Chase Burns, 11 straight starts where he's allowed 2 runs or less. The guy has been phenomenal. What a great pitcher. Pete Crow Armstrong, by the way, over the last 30 days, over a 1-daughter, playing exceptionally well. For me, though, I'm wearing an A's cap. I can't get enough of Nick Kurtz. He has become the guy who, when I'm flipping around, I'm going to stop and watch. And, I mean, his ability to stay on the baseball, it is Ohtani-ish. I think they're real similar in the way that they destroy the baseball to left center. It feels like it's a right-handed pull situation. He's homered it 7 times in the last 8 games and 8 times in June. He's got a career OPS. I know it's just been a little bit over a year. Over a 1-daughter. I don't know how many young guys I take over him just strictly hitting the baseball.
I mean, how many guys in general are you taking over him? He's that good. And let me tell you, man, when you have pop like that to all fields, it makes it easy to stay on the ball. If you know that you can go to the opposite field with power, what that does for you mentally, and you're like, okay, well, my bat path, I can start it deep because if I get beat, I still have power there. That's not the case for everybody.
It must change the way that pitchers attack you too, knowing that, right?
There's really, I mean, the guys like that, like they start getting the extremes. Like we're going to try to go up and neck ball you a lot, or we're just going to really try to make you chase, because there is nowhere in zone that Nick Kurtz can't get to right now without slug. I mean, he does it.
And that's why it's so important that the A's do have a performance from the guys around him, because if not, he's just going to turn into a walk machine.
Yes,
they are not going to deliver the ball.
He still chases, so teams can expose that. But like I said, in zone, there's really nowhere you can go get him and say, hey, this is where we're going to attack him. Like he has to chase.
What was your favorite performance of Monday night? Some people say the Pete Crow Armstrong, because right after he got the 13th cycle in Cubs history, he gets picked off first base. That's amazing.
You know, we say the Joe Ryan experience out here in Minnesota, because it's a treat to watch him, and a lot of weird things happen. I feel like Pete Crow Armstrong deserves that same nickname.
Yeah. He's played great, though. He's rebounded nicely from the incident on the south side of Chicago. Good for him. There is one team I would like to mention very quickly. We have a loyal community member, Eric, who always tweets at me about the Washington Nationals because they were off to a nice start this year. I was like, okay, fill me in when they're sticking around. They're more than sticking around. They're in the wild card discussion, squarely in it. They are 3 games over 500 after Monday's win. 3 games over 500 for the first time since the conclusion of the 2019 season.
Nationals?
When, of course, the Nationals, when they won it all. So good for them. We've talked a lot about their offense. We haven't shortchanged them, led by James Wood and C.J. Abrams, who will both be in the All-Star game. And they lead the league in runs scored.
I want to make a correction.
Yeah.
Because I just said he will chase in Nick Kurtz. That's actually not the right way to phrase it because he's not a chaser. He's 92nd percentile in chase percentage. He'll swing and miss is what I meant to say.
Well, so that means 8% of the time he's a bad chaser.
He'll swing and miss, not chase.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There is a huge difference.
Yes.
Huge difference. Well, thank you for correcting that. All right, so we want to hear what was your favorite moment from Monday night. I know we can't get to everything on this show. People always get mad. Well, why didn't you talk about this? Well, we can't talk about everything. We tried to. We tried to parse it out, but it doesn't always happen. I will talk about this, that the episode of Baseball Today is sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go or at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, you know your phone is going to work, even in a crowded stadium. Anybody who's been to the big game, you know the feeling. Team hits a walk-off. Everybody's trying to text or post or send videos at exactly the same time, and suddenly your phone won't load anything. Or you're trying to stream the game while you're on the move, and the feed keeps buffering at the worst possible moment, and you are sitting there going, what is happening? Those are the moments that matter to real baseball fans, and a drop signal shouldn't be the reason that you miss any of them. T-Mobile's network is built specifically to handle all of it. Talking about packed stadiums, big moments, no problem. Now find out how baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. The fastest base on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligent data of national speed score results for 2H 2025. Yes, the best based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All right, let's look ahead to Tuesday night's game. Fun one in Houston. First of all, good for Hunter Brown. He is back. He has been on the shelf because of a bad shoulder since March 31st. So it's great to have a guy who finished in the top 3 of the Cy Young voting back in H-Town. The other big reason everybody will be squarely watching this, it is the return of Framber Valdez, who, of course, was a lifelong Houston Astro until he bolted for Motown, signed a multi-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. Now, he did say before the Tigers win on Monday, through an interpreter, he would have been happy to stay in an Astro uniform.
They did not make any contact with me. I would have loved to have my team for 8-9 years to come back and stay home, but it's part of the business. I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did it surprise you Houston didn't even make contact with him when he was a free agent?
I think he wore out his welcome in Houston in that organization. So it doesn't really surprise me. Look, and he's put up some magical seasons. I'm a fan of the way he pitches, but the more and more you hear from people that were around Houston, I think that's the way to put it, to phrase it the nicest way, is he wore out his welcome in that organization. So, yeah.
And it's so interesting because I'm going to give you just some numbers on the Astros pitching. They entered Sunday's game with the highest ERA in the American League and had already used 27 pitchers this season. That doesn't mean 27 starters, but that means 27 pitchers, and a bunch of them have run through that starting rotation. So when you think of Framber's time in Houston, do you think more of some of the incidents that came along with him, or do you think more of the consistency?
I mean, personally, I think more of the consistency. Like, he's going to get out there. He's going to give you, I mean, at the very least 6 innings, keep you in the game, and with flashes of brilliance in between that. So I think of that. I think if you're around him, you might think of different things. So, But I mean, look, I've always enjoyed watching him pitch. I think there's something special about what he does, and he kind of approaches it differently. And he's been dominant at times, but I think other people might say differently.
Yeah, I think he's heavy to manage. I think he's probably one of those guys. You have played presumably with some people who, when they walk in the clubhouse, just the air gets sucked out. And I think that he was probably a tough guy to deal with there. I mean, just think of the incidents that became public. Remember a few years ago about going to the All-Star game? Am I going? Am I not going? That incident. Then last year with the catching situation, did he cross up his catcher intentionally? The fact that we even had to discuss that was...
Is there even like question if he did or not?
He said he didn't.
Yeah. Well.
He said he didn't. Everybody and his catcher did the great thing. He's like, no. Just we had a cross up. He wouldn't do that. That was a young catcher that had to say that too and come to the defense of a seasoned veteran. But look, he's a World Series champion. He threw a no-hitter. He made, all-star games. Every year you could chalk him up for 180-plus innings, and that shouldn't go unnoticed. That should be appreciated. So I imagine, and we showed the video that they showed on the scoreboard last night. He got a nice ovation. My guess is when he comes out tonight to throw his first pitch in the bottom of the first, he'll get a nice ovation, and after that, he's going to turn into the enemy. That's the way it should be. I'd be curious to hear from Astros fans what they thought of his entire tenure. I think most people were like, okay, we let him go. We've let way better players than him leave for nothing.
They have. They were used to that for a while, yeah.
And guys who meant more to the organization. A lot more.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a weird... I'm not going to say he's a weird guy because I don't know him, but he's had a weird, really good career.
I guess that's a good way to put it, yeah.
I don't know, man. You ever have teammates you had to tiptoe around?
Not really, to be honest with you.
You're lucky.
Yeah, Minnesota was always, maybe to their fault. They wanted good guys in the clubhouse, and most guys in the big leagues are. Like, there's just a few people here and there that kind of are the bad apples. I mean, I played with guys who I didn't like, but like, they didn't bother me. Like, if I don't like you, here's the thing: if I don't talk to you, I don't like you. If I mess with you all the time or talk to you, I like you. That's basically how it goes.
You're warming my heart.
Yeah, we talk all the time.
I've had plenty of people that I've worked with that I sit there and I go, come on, man. What's the matter with you? Oh, you get a lot of that in this business.
Some people just weren't raised right, Chris.
And even if they were, they just, for whatever reason.
Name them right now. Name one person.
Well, I'll save it for the book, maybe.
Okay.
There's no book.
Oh, you better have a book. I'll be in it for sure.
No, you will. You'll have a great chapter 23. Chapter 24. Sorry. Chapter 24. Okay, good news for the Seattle Mariners. Cal Raleigh is returning tonight. Of course, he's been nursing that bad oblique. It cost him nearly 30 games. Raleigh told the Seattle Times on Monday he hated sitting out, but it was necessary to get healthy. He added, quote, ultimately, it was a good time to reflect and see what I could do better, see where I can make some adjustments, both as a player and as a teammate. Those are kind of interesting words. First of all, what do you think that means?
I don't really know that. I mean, obviously there's the whole Randy Arozarena thing, and I don't know if that's what he's referencing, but I think he just spoke, and I think he might have just said some words there. I've never heard anyone say Cal Raleigh bad teammate. So
no.
He might have just like said words. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just like say something that you think sounds good. I don't think he really meant anything by it.
Can I throw something at you?
I want to hear it. Yes.
I think he loves playing baseball. Like, when a catcher plays 159 games a year, meaning he'll DH for 25 or 30 of those games, he wants to be in the lineup. The dude does not like days off. And catchers need him. Whether they would want to admit to it or not, they need rest. Is it possible Not that he was being selfish last year, but because he knew that his bat would help the team. But does he need to step off the accelerator a little bit on the type of player he is and realize, nope?
I don't think so. I don't think that's what he means by that. If anything, I think his teammates like, hell yeah, man. Like, we love that you post. So I don't think I just think he's just said something that he thought the media would like, or just it came out of his mouth. And maybe, maybe when you do, Chris, have like time on the IL and you're just around the team, can't contribute, you start to think of ways, how can I contribute? And that could be helping with scouting reports. It could be on the bench trying to pick a pitcher apart. It could be a lot of different things. So maybe that's what he's referencing, but I don't think it's like emotionally or, personality driven or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear from him about that. What do you think the Mariners would take from him the rest of the year?
I mean, I think they want, 60 homer Cal Raleigh, no, but I think they want big boy middle of lineup driving and runs Cal Raleigh, and he was kind of getting to that before this oblique popped up. If you look I cherry picked a little bit here. When his OPS at the beginning of the year got down to its lowest point, which was a 368, he had a stretch of 21 games, Chris, where he had an 840 OPS, 7 homers in there. So he was producing, and then the oblique popped up. That's when he had the 0 for 38 or whatever it was. So fully healthy Cal, I think they expect, we need you to hit homers, we need you to drive in runs. They're not expecting a shell of Cal Raleigh, but they're also not expecting 60 homer Cal. I think they're expecting run producing Cal Raleigh, need it because we talk about it all the time. This is the year. If you're a good team in the AL, this is your chance.
So they have 89 games left. If I said that Cal Raleigh hits 17 more homers, you think the Mariners would sign up for that? And an 820 OPS. Do you think they'd sign up for that?
Yes.
I think they would too.
Yes.
I think they absolutely would. Yeah, they need him. I said it on yesterday's show. I've said it several times. And when they went on that 7-game winning streak recently, I was like, okay, AL West is over. And then they, nothing. And so every team in the AL West outside of the Angels is really still in this thing for the most part. So I think that's what they would take. We saw glimmers of it during a rehab assignment, 412, 5 homers, 12 ribs in 4 games. I'd love to see him come out hot right out of the gate against the Orioles tonight. I think that'd be a ton of fun. So let's see. He's had some freaking amazing seasons over the last 3 years.
Yes.
So let's see Cal Raleigh. But I am still curious about that, where he can make some adjustments both as a player and a teammate. You're not as interested, is it?
I'm not. Again, I think he's such a nice guy. He's like, yeah, I want to be a better teammate. It's like, all right, dude.
Okay.
Pretty good.
But I think it deserves a follow-up answer.
Maybe I'm completely off here. I mean, I'm not in the Mariners clubhouse, but I've just never heard any rumblings of that. You hear it all the time about Framber, but you don't hear it about Cal.
Not one bit. All right, now it's time for our Blasts of the Week. It's presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast, where we'll take a look at the 420-foot-plus home runs from this past week. Well, this past week, Las Vegas replaced Coors Field, by the way. Jordan Walker, 453.
Yeah,
see you in Philly in mid-July.
That was a bomb right there. I remember watching that. Yep. In the powder blues. Okay.
Yeah, wear those uniforms every road game. Those things are freaking sweet. Those are awesome. Carlos Cortez. There we go. I mentioned to you Las Vegas.
It's got to feel good to hit in a park like that, dude.
460. Tyler Soderstrom. Anybody for more Las Vegas? 462.
Is that near the pool? There it is. There's that pool. All right.
Lawrence Butler. Let's just keep going. 463. Jeez.
He needs more of those. I'm happy for him. He needs to get going a little bit. Come on, L-Butt.
Come on. Oh, Nick Kurtz.
Jesus.
471.
That's a bomb. I love his swing. And you mentioned it. He's something different.
So this segment was brought to you not only by our friends over at Mountain Dew Baja Blast, but also the Las Vegas Convention Authority, apparently. So remember, for this baseball season, keep a close eye on the 420-foot-plus home runs that unlock your free, yeah, I said free, Baja Blast. Okay. Both Ken Rosenthal and Buster Olney are reporting the San Francisco Giants are open for trade talk. Now, Ken says that free agents to be Robbie Ray and Luis Ariz obviously head the list, while Olney added that San Francisco's 3 highest-paid players, Devers, Adames, and Chapman, could be had. Both guys said Logan Webb is staying put. Now, how many San Francisco players hit the road, in your opinion, before the trade deadline?
Just looking at it, this is such an interesting question because, Devers, Adames, and Chapman have big contracts with multiple years left. Chapman's actually been swinging the bat really well lately.
Yep.
I'd say that Robbie Ray and Luis Ariz are gone, so that's 2. And I do think one of those 3 gets traded. And I don't know which one. I'm assuming Chapman might be the best suited to get traded just because of the way he's playing right now. We know the defense is always going to be there with him. So I'll say 3 of the 5 gets traded, and I think it's Chapman.
All right, so let's put the easy ones off to the side. Even though Robbie Ray has not pitched well and has a $25 million price tag this year, I mean, either the Giants are going to have to eat some money or you're not going to get a decent prospect back. So, and somebody is just going to take a flyer and hope Robbie Ray figures it out. Luis Ariz could be valuable, real valuable. If he gets to a team that makes the playoffs, his at-bats are a problem for the other team because he just fouls away, then puts it in play. His OPS, high 700s, and actually his metrics at second base have been exceptionally good this year. So people can't be afraid, well, where do I play him? If you have a void or a need at second base, you can put him there and feel good about it right now. Ride the hot hand. Chapman is very interesting because he's got full no trade. So they would have to go to Matt Chapman and say, where do you want to go, brother?
Who needs a third baseman? I mean, a lot of people.
Well, speaking out of turn in terms of where it puts people financially, over a certain level, that could be a problem.
It'd be interesting if San Francisco would be willing to eat some of that money. I think they would.
Yeah.
Depending on the return. $25 million a year through 2030. It's actually not a crazy price tag. I mean, he's
going to be a 5 to 6 WAR player every year.
Yeah, he's going to provide value. Obviously, you know what he does, again, defensively. Then when he contributes on the offensive side, it gets big. I mean, yeah, if you're talking about even in San Francisco, his first year was a 7-1 WAR. Last year, 4-1, and this year he's already at 3-2. Like, he's providing value. Are the Yankees looking for a third baseman?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Dan, the general manager of the Yankees, Dan Rourke, who moonlights as our producer, says no. Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's other like Philly.
We've already daydreamed about Philly with him. Me and Jake talked about that, like how he would fits into the exact mold that they have in that lineup, just
right, everything that they need,
even the way they look,
everything but the price tag. Screams Cleveland right now.
Oh man, how fun would that be? I don't know if he'd waive his no trade clause though, Chris.
I don't think
no
so.
No offense to Cleveland.
I don't think so either. I'm with you. There aren't that many teams. Try and find a spot for him. Just in case you're curious, bookkeeping, Adames 5 for $155 still on the contract after this season. Devers is owed $225 over the next 7. $225 over the next 7.
Why not?
I can't imagine.
Colt Emerson, Matt Chapman, Cole Young.
Well,
him to mentor these two guys.
So Crawford, who just went on the injured list,
he'd be a utility guy.
Is there a team that needs a shortstop? I know that Crawford said, I want to stay my entire career here in Seattle, but if they're trying to win.
I don't hate that. I don't hate. He'd barely have to pack up his bags. So close, man. Yeah.
Nothing's close to Seattle. Don't say that.
2-hour flight, right?
Yeah, but it's a 4.5-hour flight to go play a division rival in Houston. That's not.
I kind of like the Seattle fit. I do.
That's not bad. Yeah. Well, yeah, Dan. So Mark Feinsand said it too. Okay.
Said
Good
what?
job, Mark. He just came out with it 30 minutes ago. Good.
What did he
Bringing
say?
you yesterday's news tomorrow. Great. All right. So there's one other guy you can throw on the Buster Olney and Ken Rosenthal train who had that yesterday. Obviously, somebody's getting out there mentioning stuff. Of course, the Giants want to trade and get rid of contracts that aren't working for a team that has the second worst record in the National League. Yeah, got it. Sign me up, too. I'd like to hit the reset button. Maybe these other teams can take the full contracts instead of having us eat it. And maybe you can give us Major League ready talent, too. Sure, let's just throw all that out there. It has been a miserable season for the Giants. Miserable. All right, I'm going to let you enjoy what time you have before the ball game with your family, because I think we're done for the day. Okay? Does that sound good?
That.
Sure. How was your 40th year and first day on Earth? Is it good?
I slept in this morning, even though I had, we have 2 beds in here, and I slept in the same bed as my 6-year-old daughter who kicks me in the entire night. Usually if we do that. I slept well though, so that's nice. I woke up feeling refreshed. We had breakfast together. Now we're going to go play some. I think Olivia's rented the ball machine, so I might go hit some tennis balls right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I always was a hotel snob on the road. Always got an extra room for the kids. And Michelle and I would split it up. Like when they were younger, like your kids' age, one of us would stay with one. I could never sleep in a bed with ever because I'm such a crappy sleeper.
So I think we're close to the 2-room thing where they'll just go stay in one room, especially if it's adjoining, but we're not there yet. They'd be scared.
Yeah, no. That'll happen I would say we're an under 2-year countdown for Teddy to be able to run the roost.
It'd be nice to have some private time with my wife.
That's a game changer. Telling you, that's a game changer. All right, we are back at it again on Wednesday. We cannot wait for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented nacho hat man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Wednesday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.